What can be said about Tetris that hasn't been said already by basically every Game Boy outlet out there, including myself? My review of the original 1989 game waxed plenty lyrical about the legendary title, and despite it being such an early game, I said at the time, with some conviction, that there probably wasn't a more iconic game in the whole library. By the time I'd reviewed the entirety of said library, I was confident my original supposition was indeed correct. Alright, that wasn't a massively hot take, I grant you. And sure, by 1998, perhaps the luster had waned a little bit, and it was by no means a revolutionary piece anymore, but wouldn't it have been weird if Tetris wasn't a launch title for a new Game Boy? I know the GBA didn't get one straight away, but that had Circle of the Moon as one of its launches, so we'll let it off. Slightly different to a lot of other DX-affixed games, which were simply colorized versions of older code, Tetris has been revamped a little this time. Not in the way that the rules were changed per se, there were plenty of Tetris 2, Tetris Blast and so on if you wanted to change to the formula for some reason. No, this time it really is just Tetris, in the manner you know best. That's the Marathon game mode, anyway, the standard Tetris experience that goes on, dropping tetrominos faster and faster until you can't tidy them away fast enough and they hit the top of the screen. To accompany this, you now get 3 other game modes. Now, you can play 2 timed games. Ultra mode challenges you to get as high as possible a score within the time limit, and 40 lines, as you might imagine, requires you to hit 40 lines in as short a time as you can. Your scores in all the modes are saved on the cartridge, with a blessed battery this time, joy of joys, so there's a real incentive to play these modes again and again. The final game mode is one we've seen in many other drop-piece puzzlers. Versus Com sees you going head-to-head with a CPU opponent. You can't see their grid, but only a vertical meter at the side of the screen, which tells you how high they're filled, who you need to beat by quickly clearing your own board. If you get a double, triple, or 4-line clearance, extra lines of blocks are plopped down onto the opponent's game, and of course this also happens to you. It really encourages you to play as fast as you can, because there's always that looming threat that the move you're trying to line up could be jeopardized at any moment. The musical score ain't the strongest. Alright, the Russian folk melody made famous by the first game can potentially get annoying to other people in the room, but it is at least iconic. This time round it's been completely redone and is about as good as it needs to be, but you won't find yourself incessantly humming any of the tunes hours later. The colorization looks as lovely as you'd want it to, but again, it's nothing above and beyond the necessary. Look, none of that really matters. This is Tetris, exactly as you remember it, with a bunch of other cool stuff thrown in as a bonus. Give it 30 seconds, you ain't gonna give 2 hoots about the presentation. This is just one of those things, nearly 40-something years and counting later, that just will not get stale. Think of the advancements we've made in video gaming since then, and people still play the heck out of Tetris. Truly a once-in-a-generation property.